Hello, everybody, and welcome to Movie Couple Live. This is a show where we talk about the latest in pop culture and movie news. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And you guys, happy Saturday, happy Vlogmas. The holiday season is upon us. And of course, thank you all so much for taking the time to come and hang out with us today. On today's show, we are talking all spoilers for episode 3 of Hawkeye and a tiny little bit of SpiderMan No Way Home news. Very little up at the top. So,
oh, we do have deep voices.
Great.
So it sounds like the very opposite of helium for us. So I got a little bit of a Darth Vader voice going on.
Okay, 1 second.
So I can have like this really cool.
I'm going to mute us.
Aww.
So give us a second. We'll be right back.
Actually, I think we might be okay in that way, but give me 2 seconds. Well, you talk to them. They can hear you
we're
now.
back.
They can hear you now. I'm just.
I think we're back to normal now. All right. Well, that's right. We're going to be talking about Hawkeye, episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Just episode.
Well, we already talked about 1 and 2. Yeah. So it's just episode 3. But we'll probably refer back to a little bit about what happened in episode 1. It's weird because to hear the voices in my head while I'm trying to say the exact same things. And also we had one little bit of new movie news drop, and that is actually going to be the length of the new Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man No Way Home. We got an official runtime for that, and we'll talk about that a little bit.
And then
we'll
dive into.
Is this better?
I will find out. Oh, Blade says fixed, but was fun while it lasted. Well, thank you, Blade. I'm glad you found that we were able to provide a little bit of humor at the very beginning of our live stream.
Nice.
And we do have, right off the very top of the show, a super chat from Marvin Martin. He has his recommendations for the day.
All right, Marvin, let me bring up your super chat. Thank you so much for your support. Marvin writes, Jonathan Antoine, Tina Gua, Gao Ling, and Liu Xing, Unicorn Academy and Unicorn School. Yes, to all the unicorns. Wings of Fire, This Present Darkness, Home Free, and Mirror's Edge. I love that he added, I'm not sure about some of the other people that he's mentioned, but Tina Guo, I believe, is the celloist that you hear perform the very iconic Wonder Woman theme.
Mm-hmm.
So let us know, Marvin, in the chat if that is her. That is what you were talking about.
And also, I have to admit, I loved the way that she did the Wonder Woman cello solo. That it's just so powerful. And what is that called?
Sorry, continue.
No, it's okay.
Don't let me throw you off.
My brain's just off and all over the place today. But she did something recently too. What was the most recent thing that she did? She did like another. Well, she's done a lot of stuff. Don't get me wrong.
So she works a lot with Hans Zimmer. I got to see her at the Hans Zimmer live concert. This was a year ago, pre-2020. But Harloff had an extra ticket, and he's like, "You want to come?" And I'm like, "Heck yeah!" So it was one of the coolest things I experienced, and she was front and center, and she performed the Wonder Woman piece, and she also performed. There's on YouTube, you can find her performing the Jack Sparrow theme song as well. Like she has she's got her own YouTube channel. She does a ton of covers. She tours with Hans Zimmer when he was on the road, and she also works with him. So I believe you can hear bits and pieces of her work in Dune, because I remember seeing.
That's what it was. Yeah. That's what it was. I was like, Wendy was like, "Oh yeah, and that's the girl that does from Wonder Woman." And I was like, "Oh really?" And I was like, "Oh, that is so cool." Mm-hmm. And then you can hear it. You can just hear that powerful cello in the background that she plays.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
It is really fun. It is just great to hear more and more of her music.
Mm-hmm.
And what is everyone saying in the chat? Anything fun and exciting?
Huh. I think our mic's being very weird today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and switch back to the... I don't like... I know you guys think this sounds better, but when I listen back, this other mic that we're now using, I actually hate the sound of it. But if you guys are the one watching, so you can dictate this. So if this actually sounds better to your ears, then we'll use that for today. And then we'll figure out what is going on later with these mics. Don't know what's going on with that, but in any case, Marvin, thank you so much for the recommendation. Love that. Let's see here. Let's see. What did I think? There we go. Marvin says she also did a good Zelda theme song and did Empty Chairs with Jonathan Antoine from Les Mis. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, she's done a whole bunch. She's done a whole bunch of stuff. She's super talented. If you ever watch her like on stage, you don't have to even go see her live. She just like, I've never seen someone play a cello like that.
Yeah, I've seen
passionately, and then we've seen tons of. There's also like the two guys, like the two cellos or something like that.
Yeah.
They're really
dueling
amazing.
cellos.
Yeah, they're amazing as well.
It is, yeah. She just completely just rocks out on stage.
And she spins her cello, and I'm like, what? What? And when she plays on her electric cello, it's pretty fantastic. All right, you guys, we're gonna go ahead, and again, thank you, Marvin, for your super chat. We're gonna go ahead and get into this bit of news flash. So let me go ahead and pull up the news so I have things to read from, but this is via Collider, and it was an exclusive, and it says Spider-Man No Way Home runtime has been revealed. So how long are we gonna get to sit in the theater and enjoy all the spider goodness?
4 hours and 32 minutes. No.
I mean, I honestly would not complain. So Collider writes, quote, directly from their website, we can report from trusted sources that Spider-Man No Way Home has a final runtime of 150 minutes. So that's 2 hours and 30 minutes, which includes the credit.
Is 30 minutes?
30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Did I say that wrong?
No.
30 minutes?
No, 2 hours and 10 minutes, right?
It's 150.
Oh, 150
minutes.
Oh, no, I'm looking at, there's a ton of different numbers.
I'm pretty sure
here.
the article wouldn't do the calculation incorrect because they have fact checkers and all of that stuff. So 150 minutes, 150 minutes, which equals to about 2 hours and 30 minutes, including the credits. And I believe this will be the longest Spider-Man movie in with Tom Holland as Spider-Man. So they actually compare it here in the article. Homecoming ran for 133, which is about 2 hours and 13. Far From Home is 129 minutes or 2 hours and 9 minutes. So No Way Home being the longest one in this trilogy, which makes sense considering how many characters and other characters, villains and characters that we're going to be getting supposedly in this movie. And I say supposedly it's because I know we don't have actual confirmation that like Andrew and Toby are in it, even though like I'm like 99% sure
we're pretty sure that that's what's going to happen in there.
By confirm, I mean seeing it with our own eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Like they have not put it in the trailers yet.
Correct.
Or the official trailers. They put it in some of the leaked footage, but that's also not official yet. But honestly, I'm just excited that we're going to get a good long story with this. Technically, you know, runtime doesn't really mean that we're going to get a good movie, though. You know, true. I mean, we're sitting here going, oh, give us more, give us more.
It's going to be a good movie.
But we're going to go in this and we're going to be like, I would just want as much Spider-Man as you can give me.
But you just said that a long runtime doesn't equate to being a good movie.
I know. I'm not letting myself get into that mindset.
I thought you were trying to throw shade at the movie. I was like, well, yeah, I haven't even seen it yet.
Well, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. What I was trying to mean was the fact of, even though I'm excited for a long Spider-Man movie, long Spider-Man movie does not equal good Spider-Man movie. Technically, but I want it to be a good long Spider-Man movie. Yeah. That's what I would like to see.
Black Loki has commented on Dustin's shirt, who says Dustin has a cool Obi-Wan shirt. Take
Hello
a bow,
there.
Dustin. This is thank you so much to Blade GTR who gifted us with these shirts.
I love it. I love it. This is like a very comfortable shirt too. I don't know what it's just probably just out of cotton, but when I first got it, I was just like, it's nice. And plus, you know, it's perfect for someone who's kind of an Obi-Wan nerd like me.
Yeah.
Hello there.
Yeah. Debbie also says some press have screened some of the movie already. Lucky them. We're not sure if we're going to get a press screening invite because I should probably have asked her earlier. I forgot. So maybe on Monday I will email Sony and be like, hi,
Hey,
remember
by the
me,
way.
please. I know everybody's asking you, but also me asking you. Please, please, please. So we'll see. But we did buy ourselves tickets to the show. So one of the earlier first day showings. I don't know how I was able to just get the tickets. I wasn't able to get IMAX or Dolby or whatever, like the more high quality sound theaters. I think I just settled for like just regular digital stereo, whatever it was, because they had a couple of seats left. And I'm like, you know what? Doable. So we bought them and we'll see it that way. And then we'll just go back and see it again once the first initial crowd of like all the very devoted fans go and see it that first weekend. And then we will revisit it again, hopefully then in Adobe Cinema somewhere, and enjoy it again that way.
Good point for who said it? Someone, I just recently went and looked it up. Sarju brought up, what did Spider-Man 3 have for a runtime? And Spider-Man 3 was actually 139 minutes.
Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, Spider-Man 3.
Which one?
That's the third Tobey Maguire one.
Okay.
That's the one where they did Venom with Topher Grace.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that one. The one that we kind of forget about is in the Spider-Verse.
It was fine.
So it kind of lands right around the same time as some of the other Spider-Man movies. But so far, I think, out of all of them, this is going to be the longest Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see a lot.
I think there's just a lot to put in because, they also have Doctor Strange in it. And how's that going to work out? And Leo here says, wouldn't it spoil the movie if we saw all of them at the premiere? Potentially. But I think at this point, most fans have an understanding that they're most likely going to be in the movie. They're just going to try to be really secretive and keep it from the fans. But you're right. I think them going to the premiere essentially could confirm that they are somehow somewhat involved in the movie, even if it's just like a mid-credit, post-credit scene. Like that could be the reason why they attend. But yeah, typically in the past, I feel like if you see somebody at a premiere and you're just kind of like, maybe possibly they're going to be in the movie. For example, for the Solo premiere, Sam Witwer was there. And I first thought, because when I saw him, I was like, he's probably here because he's very involved in the Star Wars universe. He's voiced not just Darth Maul, but, other characters. He literally is like in the video game. Yeah, he is the video game. It's true. So
in the Force, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it wasn't until the very end where you're like, oh, wait, you actually hear him. So that kind of makes sense. So yeah, it could spoil it. But I think at this point, we all sort of know that they are going to be in the movie in some way or another. I think in what capacity they're going to be in the film is what we don't know.
Yeah, like are they going to just show up? I mean, let's go into the assumption that yes, they are in the movie. Are they just going to show up in the last kind of minute of the movie and kind of help save the day after Spider-Man gets his butt kicked by all of these villains?
Yeah.
And finally, but it's the fact that they come into this universe. And that's kind of what is it like when Doctor Strange is going, they're all coming through, I can't stop. And it's like all of the different Spider-Men. So they have to get everyone out of this universe or it's going to implode, kind of a thing. And it's just them coming in and then leaving, having maybe one or two scenes. And that would actually make a lot more sense because then you would have gotten a lot more of them on set. And that I think would have been really, really hard to have kept hidden. If Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were all on set together for a long period of time. So I think if they are, when they show that they're actually in it, it's going to be really fast. Like maybe there's one scene where they actually take off the mask and you see Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. And then they put the mask back on. And the rest of the movie is just them as Spider-Man, because then you can have anyone in the suit.
I do like what Debbie says here in regards to actors showing up at the premiere, and does that confirm that they are going to be in the film or not? And she writes this: remember at Endgame, Natalie Portman was at the premiere and we didn't know Jane was going to be in the film and it was old footage. So it could be that too. They could very much well do like a Spider-Verse multiverse explanation and just show footage from, Tobey's Spider-Man movies and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man movies. So that's possible as well.
It also, what's something that I just kind of realized too, is that it could be flashbacks.
Yes.
To where what's his
Yes.
name? Doc Ock is talking about his experience with Spider-Man, and they show flashbacks of Tobey Maguire, kind of a thing. So I'm really curious on what how they're going to use these characters that are in it. Like how long, how much are we going to get? How much FaceTime are we going to get?
That's what we don't know.
I would love it to be more like Into the Spider-Verse, to where it's kind of like most of it's them getting the team together, and they're actually going to be working as a team through most of the movie. But my guess is that it's just going to be a little cameo, one scene where they're actually talking without the masks on.
That'd be so cool.
And then the rest is just them fighting a Spider-Man. Yeah,
that'd be so cool. Black Loki sending in a super chat that says, Andrew Garfield at the premiere, I'm not in the movie. Are you okay?
Something
we ate right before we started the live stream. I think maybe that's since.
My apologies.
I was like, you coughing very loudly into the mic.
I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah, something.
You need a second?
No, I'm good. I'm good. We're good. I'm clear.
All right.
Maybe a little bit, but I will try to clear if I have to do another big thing, I'll kind of go off camera for a little bit. I do apologize to everyone who is watching. That's probably very like, I don't want to hear that. So, but those are pretty much my thoughts about what Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are going to do. One scene without the masks, the rest is going to be them with masks on and talking into their invisible earpiece saying, take the shot.
I don't have a clear shot. Take the shot. Oh man. I think for me, hearing about the runtime just makes me excited because that means I get to enjoy the film longer. Everything that we've seen so far from Spider-Man No Way Home, the trailers, the teases, the posters, all the theories just got me very excited, and I'm going to try to temper that excitement a little bit before we go into the theater and watch this, so I'm not so in my own headcanon and excitement and just sit there and relax and just enjoy the ride that they're going to take us on. And
that is probably the biggest thing to do. We have we've built up now so many fan theories, so many different ideas of what we want to see. I have to curb that. And when I go in, just like you said, I'm going to be like, okay, just present me with your material. Present your movie to me. For my movie-going experience.
Vanja wants to know what did we eat. We had some Filipino food, so there's a little. You'll see it in Vlogmas, the next Vlogmas, or maybe the one after the next. I think. There's a little holiday street fair going on near us in the neighborhood, so we decided to venture out before the live stream because I knew there was going to be food trucks there, and you guys know I'm all about the food trucks. So we went out, we looked around, and there was this one truck that has Filipino food, and I was like, Dustin,
we're getting this.
I need the garlic fried rice with the chicken adobo and lumpia. So that's what we got, and that's what we had for lunch, and it's delicious. And the food coma is starting to creep in just a little bit. So I think to excite myself out of the food coma, because I don't want to be taking a nap middle of the day, let's go ahead and get into our spoiler discussion for Hawkeye. We're going to be talking Hawkeye. Sorry, I said that weird. We're going to be talking about episode 3 called Echoes, and just a big spoiler warning right up here. If you haven't watched the 3rd episode of Hawkeye, essentially if you're not caught up with the latest episode, you are going to be hearing spoilers that you may not want to hear in this discussion right now. So we would suggest you put this video on pause or bookmark it, put it on your watch later list so you can come back later after you've seen the episode. So with that said, I absolutely loved episode 3. Episode 2 and episode 1, you and I have talked about it. It was fine. It wasn't anything that I was like, wow, this is so mind-blowing, but I felt like it was a fine, steady first 2 episodes to set up Kate Bishop, the relationship between Clint and Kate, and what is kind of happening in both of their lives, and all the other stuff that's going down, with a very quick introduction of Echo at the very end. But as you know, and we said this, that they were going to pick up from episode 2, going back into the warehouse where they're, tied up to these like little not stuffed animals. They're like those kiddie rides that don't go anywhere, but they like wobble.
That was funny that's exactly kind of that's where it picked up, and they were just sitting on that little thing all taped up to it. Even though before all of that, we got some very interesting backstory of Echo.
Yes. So we got to see young Maya, and we got to see her with her dad, who the actor's name I can't remember right now, but I know that he played, if you watched Dr. Sleep, he plays Crow Daddy in Dr. Sleep. So I was like, Crow Daddy, but I was like, oh, I can't. Carlos. I can't remember I want to say the first name's Carlos, last name I can't remember. But I love that we got to see the father-daughter dynamic between the father-daughter dynamic of Maya and her dad, and Maya having to being in school and how to adapt to being, learning while being deaf.
Yeah.
And how that it's an obstacle for her, and also she's so bright that she adapts so quickly with the lip reading, with how she was able to do the worksheet on her own. Her teacher was like, well, you already got it, I don't even
shows that
need
she
to
didn't
help
even
you.
really need a teacher. She's like, you know what, fine, I'm going to teach myself.
Yes,
because obviously you can't help me. I'm on, and that was very much the lesson that she was being taught, is that you can't.
Zom McLaren, who played Crow Daddy. Yes. Thank you very much, Rurutu, for looking that up.
But it showed pretty much that is going to be Echo's mentality, is that I can't rely on anyone. I'm going to do it myself. So, and the fact that she's just, she doesn't see her disabilities as disabilities.
Right.
Or she doesn't see them as handicaps.
Yeah.
So she's just like, I've got to live in this world, and I'm just going to kick butt.
I'm just going to excel at everything anyways, because I am that much of a badass, which is great. And I like what a lot of you guys in the comments right now are talking about the dragon, that nice heartfelt conversation between young Maya and dad. He's talking about like little dragonfly. And there is that part here, the little dragon scene crushed me. And Blade, I think you're talking about when Ronin was essentially on a killing spree of all the tracksuit mafia, and essentially killed her dad, and leaving the handprint on her face. And I was, if you guys watch our reaction, like that scene, it didn't crush just you, Blade, it crushed me too, because I was like, wait, I was not expecting to cry episode 3 into Hawk. Like I expected at the end, because it's a holiday themed show. So, the theming of family is very much focused as well in this show, other than just Hawkeye and superhero stuff. So I was like, look, the tears are going to come like episode 5 or 6, but not episode 3. But that scene got me.
Yeah. I'm also just really curious on how that's going to play out. Like sooner or later, Echo's got to find out that it was Clint Barton who killed that is Ronin and killed her father.
Well, we know it's Ronin, but who knows if it's Clint or not in the suit.
Well, I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, I guess you're right, but I think at that time, that's when Ronin or Clint was going around doing all of the killing of the bad guys kind of a thing. And he pretty much just turned into what like the Punisher would kind of be. He's like, I don't care if you are a good person, you are a criminal. You are causing pain to others. So therefore your life is now forfeit, and I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, that scene was crazy. So now we know why Maya would, have a certain kind of reaction, hearing and knowing and learning about the Ronin, the Ronin suit being spotted in New York. And she was like, oh, wait, hold on. This man killed my father. So, I'm definitely going to get to the bottom of it. And she, I think, full on believed that it was, even though it doesn't make sense for her to be Kate, and I think she realized that, but I think the trigger was there to see, to see the suit, and to know that she somehow got her hands on the suit. Why? Who are you, and why do you have it? Why were you wearing it? And Kate, obviously not having any idea of the Ronin history, has no idea what kind of a mess she started and she got herself into. So it's going to be interesting. But I loved seeing so much action. It was like 6-7 minutes of straight action, from breaking out of the warehouse to that amazing car chase. Like I was hyped. I felt like I was watching a Marvel movie and not a TV show. It was so good. So we asked the question in our reaction video about the because we saw that Echo does have a prosthetic leg, and so we asked the question to the chat in the comments if it was a character part of the character
story arc, or was it the actual actor?
Yes.
Kind of a thing.
In the comments of our reaction video, you guys said that it's actually the actor, and
Which makes me love her even more.
She's so badass. Like all the fight scenes, all the it's incredible. So thank you to everybody who let us know that little bit.
And I love the fact too that they are putting people. They're doing this kind of representation too. They actually they got a deaf actor, and they just didn't have an actor pretend to be deaf. They got a character that actually, an actor that actually has a prosthetic leg, and they didn't even need to put that in there, kind of a thing. They could have just kind of glanced over it and gotten an actor that has both legs. They made that choice.
Because I bet you when they auditioned, she was probably the best choice, and they say we're gonna work with it. We're putting it in the show. Now it's a part of the character, and I think that's fantastic. So Echo's not my favorite character. Echo and Kate are two of my faves in this show. But let's talk about, since we're talking young Maya there. And young Maya was in, we said it wasn't karate, it was maybe like a judo class.
Yeah, because it looked like she did a lot more
grappling
and stuff.
Yeah. But anyways, so Dad was saying, I gotta go, but Uncle's going to be picking you up and bringing you home. And then you hear the heavy footsteps coming up from behind Dad.
Boom, boom.
And the black, it's iconic. It's black suit, tells you that it probably is Kingpin, and then the hand with a little, little caress on the face. And Debbie says it here, that moment with young Maya and the guy in the suit. Listen to the laugh. That's Vincent D'Onofrio.
I'm pretty sure they didn't have Vincent D'Onofrio on set that day.
But they could have used
a double and a laugh from many other recordings that they probably have.
Yeah.
I am dying to see him. I want him to be like in an end credit scene at the very, very end, or to actually be kind of like they discover who the big baddie is at the like middle of the last episode, kind of a thing. I don't think Vincent D'Onofrio is going to have that big of a role, because then I think it would have been a little bit more harder to hide.
Nobody knew that what's his face was going to show up as Ralph Boner or Pietro. They kept that a secret.
Nope, that's true.
And that's huge. I mean, we speculated. We were kind of like, oh, haha, wouldn't it be funny if it was the other Quicksilver from the Fox universe? Like, ha ha ha, that's funny. And then we just kind of joked about it, and then it happened in WandaVision.
Nope, that's
so
true.
Never say never. But this is still, as much as we're excited for to see D'Onofrio return as Kingpin, we won't lose sight that this is, a show about Hawkeye, Kate, and now Echo as well. Like, this is just as much as her show as well. I cannot wait.
And the fact that Kingpin is just very much going to be in the background, kind of a thing. So, and I'm wondering how much they're going to use them. Like, say, for example, is Echo going to have a phone call with someone who you don't hear the other voice, but from what? Oh no, it wouldn't be a phone call. It would have to be text.
Yeah, she can't unless it was FaceTime, so she could sign and read lips.
Oh,
maybe. Yeah, she couldn't be like this.
True, but then it'd have to be like texts or something.
Maybe a text.
But you could do that, and instead of saying
Zoom meetings,
what is it called? It would be Uncle on there instead of actually saying like
incoming call, Uncle.
Yeah.
I like this question from Adit, who says over under 45% that Kingpin has Kazi, the translator, dress up as Ronin and had him hurt Echo's dad. See, a part of me feels like, because in the comics, I think it was Kingpin that, I don't think Kingpin had the father killed, or hold on, I'm getting my stories mixed up. I'm trying to remember what they had in the comics. So if you guys know, put that in the chat so I can say it. But I think it's either Kingpin did have her dad killed, or he was killed doing a job for him. But I'm leaning towards the first one.
Yeah, I mean, from the way that they have it set up right now, it would seem kind of weird that Kingpin ordered Maya's father to be killed. Now, putting him in the line of fire would have been something different. Like saying, like Kingpin set it up to where he knew that Ronin was going to hit one of his facilities, one of his what?
Rurutu says the uncle is Trevor Slattery pretending to be Kingpin. Hello,
I'm Trevor. I'm the Kingpin. Don't shoot. I'm an actor. But I think that it's probably more along the lines of that. If you wanted to blame Kingpin, I think he might have put her father in the line of fire. So that might take some of the some of the blame off of Clint.
Allie writes, Kingpin is kind of responsible for her father's death. That is in the comics. And Blade here says Kingpin did have Echo's dad killed. So there's other theories as well. I like this one from J-Rag, who says, I think it was Jack dressed up as Ronin that killed Echo's dad. So let's shift gears super quick because I want to come back to this, but let's talk about Jack real quick. We already know Jack has already established himself. The show has established that he is an expert swordsman.
Yes.
We've established that already, that he's kind of cocky with Kate when they did their little competition because he's like, I know I can beat you. Like, yeah, you're good, but I'm better. And we saw at the very end of episode 3, the Ronin sword pointed at Clint, and it was Jack who was obviously holding the sword because he stole it from the auction when all the chaos was happening. Now, I know there is some connection via the comments in our reaction video, that connection of Jack to being the swordsman who may have, I believe, trained Clint. So there may be some connection there that these two, I don't know how the show's going to play it out because we don't know, right? But we think maybe that it could be one of those like, hello, master, sort of a situation. So then while we're saying this, there is another comment that I wanted to put up.
That would be cool though, to have some kind of connection between Clint and Jack. I think it would be, that would also explain that if Jack put on a fake Ronin costume to kill and kind of pin it on Ronin for the death of Amaya's father, then it would be why maybe Jack was so, I want the real sword. That's why I want that sword.
That makes
because
sense.
There was a time that I, masqueraded as him. And so there's kind of like that emotional connection to it.
Yeah. So I lost the comment that I was going to put up as well. But yeah, so that's a possibility. And again, these are all speculations. We don't really know for sure. But we will see what happens in a few days when episode 4 comes out, see how far it develops. Like, I will say this episode 3, I felt in the 50 minutes or however long the episode was, I felt so fulfilled. Like there was not a single dull moment where I was like, okay, let's like go back to this episode.
That is very true. I loved
everything. The phone call that Nathaniel gave to Clint, and after Clint's earpiece hearing aid came out, so he couldn't really hear his son's voice, and having Kate help him write down what Nathaniel was saying on a piece of notepad. And just that got me emotional too. And like props to Haley Steinfeld for, she didn't have much to say in that scene, but she didn't need to because her eyes and her face did all the acting. And just when actors do this, I think it's like really incredible. Some people can do it really easily. Some people can't, but just the tears welling in her eyes, but they never drop. Like, that got me so bad. And just, Hawkeye trying to be a dad, but also knowing that he can't leave the situation right now. It'd be bad if he just left, but it's like, I promise my kids, I gotta be there.
You're on your own. Bye. Peace out.
You don't know anything, but you're like, now the Tracksuit Mafia is after you. So I gotta go home for movie night. Bye.
Best of luck. Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Good night. He's
too responsible of a person to like be like, I'm gonna go. Like, but in any case, Black Loki sending in a super chat. Thank you very much. Who writes, was Sharon Carter talking to Val, Kingpin, and Xiaoling? I mean, we've got some crime syndicates that's set up here, with the confirmation of like Kingpin being now like officially reintroduced back into, well, I guess confirmation. It's not like Vincent. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but I think we know that Kingpin, crime lord, is back.
Yeah.
Xialing, if you saw Shang-Chi, kind of essentially took over the 10 Rings.
Yep.
So that's there as well. So maybe potentially Sharon Carter could be talking to, like, you know, with all the black market and all that. We don't know, but it could be. And that's kind of exciting.
And honestly, I think it would be really smart for them to bring Sharon Carter into maybe like one of the last episodes of Hawkeye, because now we have a physical, tangible connection between the events that happened in whatchamacallit, in Falcon and the Winter Soldier and with Hawkeye. And so now all of these can now intermingle. So we get this. So now we'll get more of a Avengers style Disney plus Marvel superheroes kind of a thing. So honestly, I would love to see that. So we have kind of like the Earth Avengers on Disney Plus, and then we have the epic space Odyssey and multi
the Guardians of the Multiverse.
The Guardians of the Multiverse going on with Thor and Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Debbie, we have not forgotten about Yelena. We know she's coming. It was teased at the very end of Black Widow. I just think they need to establish some stuff first before bringing in Yelena. And man, I can't believe how much they're cramming into this show. And we only have 6 episodes. There's literally 3 more episodes.
We're halfway done.
Yeah. So like, what is going to happen? When does Yelena come in? Because will she be coming in at the very end? Or she'll come in, I think maybe episode 5. I don't think she's going to come in episode 4, though I could be wrong. I don't even know how to predict where this show is going to go, other than I do think we're going to see D'Onofrio's face.
Yeah.
In at least in the final episode, at the very least.
If you could only choose one out of these 3 to make an appearance in Hawkeye, which one would it be? Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, Elena, or Sharon Carter? You only get one of them.
Oh, I know which one.
Okay.
That's easy.
Oh, which one for you?
Kingpin for sure.
Yeah.
100%. I loved his character when we got the Netflix Marvel shows. I absolutely loved his portrayal of Kingpin. So when that whole thing got canceled, like with Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and the Punisher and all of that, I was like, man, we're never going to get to see these characters again. But look at that. Here we are. And I think somebody earlier in the chat said that, like, you know, Charlie Cox's Daredevil is not too far away. It's like, yeah, it's really not. It's all gonna come, but not in this show. But we're just saying.
The very first 3 comments were 3 different answers.
Oh, really?
Yep. We had BK Dan say Sharon Carter. We had Sean Banks. So wow. Sean Banks say Elena, and we had Blade GTR say Kingpin. Vanja came in with Kingpin. What else do we got here? Because all of a sudden my thing just boom, bumped up on me. We're gonna see Andrew Garfield as Pietro Maximoff.
We're finally getting Mephisto in this one.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's a dead theory, guys. It's dead. Corey says Yelena is going after Clint, who is in the mafia. Hire her. Potentially they could hire her. Who knows?
Oh yeah, why not? That's right.
Why not?
I wouldn't be surprised too if Echo kind of is like, you know what, Tracksuit Mafia, you guys are buffoons. I'm out of here. I'm hunting this guy myself. And then they go and hire Elena to go and get either Echo and or Clint / Ronin.
Yeah. Wow. There is a lot that's going to be happening in the show. I don't even think we're ready. There's going to be a lot of wow moments, and I can't wait. And also we got a slew of trick arrows.
Yes,
we got all the trick arrows. And what makes that whole chase scene very interesting is that Clint didn't have his hearing. You know, and it's funny, they foreshadowed it with Echo saying, you know, you rely too much on technology, because he didn't really know sign language that well. And yes, it is obviously easier for Clint to just use the hearing aid and stuff like that. But I think throughout the show, we're going to see him learn that this can't be the only thing he relies on. He needs to. So I think there's going to be a little bit of learning from Echo as well. I don't know how that relationship's going to play out, but I think he's going to learn as Hawkeye. He's going to learn to sign, learn to read lips, and more. So he's not always, because if it happened once, somebody getting disabled his hearing aid, it can happen again. So that's really exciting to see what happens as well. But yeah, trick arrows. We had the acid arrow, putty arrow, plunger arrow, USB arrow, which is a nice little Easter egg throwback to the What If, the USB arrow there. And of course, our favorite, the Pym arrow. It was funny because they blurred it out in the big, not blur, but they didn't have the lens focus on the Pym. So you just saw a little blue glowy light, which from trick arrows, you're kind of like, yeah, okay, you make it look fancy. But the branding was there, Pym. And I was like, this is why he's asking Kate to shoot up. Because
I loved it. I thought it was such a cool, I'm just
what
like,
a fun
that
play.
is a fun way to end this race. I mean, to end this chase, to have just that little bit of them working together, using a trick arrow. That's incredibly awesome. And I just love it where you just go, and then all of a sudden, like, projectile missile straight down.
It's giant.
Of course, then Clint might have to explain to the authorities why he destroyed the bridge.
All right.
I mean, that bridge was pretty beat up now.
Sorry to all the commuters out there who uses that bridge to commute to this in and out of the city, because now you have to maybe go on a different bridge, and who knows, you can work from home. Everybody switch to work from home. It'll be fine. Also,
was it that wire arrow too that caught all of those Christmas
the cable
trees?
Arrow. That was cool as well. There's a lot of really cool trick arrows. I imagine
we only just begun. I cannot wait until we see more.
Just the tip. We see just the tip. I'm sorry. It's going to be as soon as I said it, I was like, I shouldn't have said it. I can't stop myself. Wow.
Where'd you cut up her mouth? What am I doing? Trust me. I know the feeling.
So, it was such a great episode. So with that said, with a little bit more time left on this live stream today, what are you hoping to see in the next episode, Dustin?
The next episode. Okay. Well,
and you guys as well, put that in the chat. So
there's thing. Okay. What would I like to see? And what do I think we're going to see? I think we're going to start seeing more of the development of Jack's character. What exactly is going on? Because I think there is a lot behind his character that they haven't even touched on yet. Why exactly is he such a sword master? And I think we're going to see that displayed on full force with the fight between him and Hawkeye, because I think Hawkeye has the Ronin blade to his throat. He's going to notice that fast.
Yes.
So I think we're going to get that story next. I would love to see a guest appearance or an appearance by one of those three characters that we had mentioned, or a character from a previous Disney show. It's just that, sometimes the simple
Loki walks through the door,
or
TVA jacket,
or you just look up into the sky and you see the Watcher and
pew, pew.
just crash. The Watcher and Ultron just crash through. I still think that would be hilarious. I know they're not going to do it in SpiderMan No Way Home, but I still think that would be just absolutely hysterical to see.
I think yes, it's going to pick up exactly where we left off with, which I think then would be kind of the confrontation between Hawkeye and Jack, or Clint and Jack. And again, we don't know which way they're going to go, where like the Marvel MCU is going to take those two's relationship. Are they going to be strangers? Do they have crossed path before? We don't know, but we will find out soon. I think we're going to see, because Cassie is also a very important character. I definitely noticed the tension between him and Echo. Somebody doesn't like being number two.
No.
Definitely noticed that. And
That's
he's
true.
Trying to play it like you can trust me or whatever. And I was like, you're just getting her to trust you so you can take over and lead the Tracksuit Mafia. So I think we're going to get to know a little bit more about Cassie as well. And I think Kate is going to come out with the accusation of, I think you killed your uncle.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And then in episode 3, we have not seen Eleanor at all. And I understand why. There was a lot of stuff happening. So, but I think Eleanor will also be in episode 4 a little bit, because
that makes sense.
There's a lot of speculation that she could also be a villain.
No, that's true too.
We will see about that. Hey, we just got a huge super chat from Boogietron 2000.
Thank you so much, Boogietron.
Thank you so much. Who writes, I am getting the feeling Clint may have his Christmas with his family, but I feel it will end sadly with him confessing to his crimes as Ronin. Whoa, and having him go to prison. And that leaves Kate taking over the mantle. Oh, Boogietron, now you putting this thought in my head.
That is so sad.
Oh, wow.
Because Clint already kind of went to prison. You know, when in Civil War, he had that, you know, he stood up for what he thought was right. But there's also a thing, I don't know if they would. I mean, they've kind of shown that they have a certain respect and reverence for Clint Barton. And I think there is a lot of things that would be, like, they would give him a lot of leeway. You know, this was during the snap. He just lost his family. He saved New York City. He saved when everyone came back from the snap. It was because of him that everyone came back from the snap, in a sense, because of how he helped out the Avengers. He doesn't have any superpowers, but he's still going up against these villains. I think courts would give him a lot of leeway on when it came to, the fact that he was a vigilante that killed criminals. Kind of a thing. I think there'd be like a huge outrage. So I think maybe he might get like the Ant-Man.
Charlie Cox as Daredevil's come and represent him in court.
That's possible.
He's just helping everybody else out.
Well, that's the kind of thing that he does.
Or She-Hulk. She's a lawyer too.
That could work too. We got
procedurals coming up, guys. These are wild theories, okay? These are wild, crazy theories. Just like right spaghetti, just throwing it against the wall and see what sticks. So that's interesting. But that is interesting because Clint, I feel like, always has that kind of, yes, this is the right thing to do, so I'm going to have to sacrifice this to do the right thing. Yeah. I think that conversation that he had with Kate. Yeah. Where he's like, you will have to sacrifice a lot. You will lose a lot. And she's like, yeah, but you also gain a lot too. Yeah. And Clint's just like, you're so young and stupid. She's so youth. Which takes me real quick to the diner scene. I like that they showed a little tribute of the original Hawkeye costume via her crayon sketch on the back of the menu. She's like, you need help with your branding. And I'm like, girl, he's a spy. He's trying to be a ghost. And I like that too. He's like, what is on my face? That's an H. Like, that's an H. And you have wings for like hawk. And he's just like, oh my God, get that away from me. What if she hasn't made, they did this for Supergirl too. And I know this is a whole different universe, Supergirl, but before they revealed her actual costume for the show. Remember how they had Kara try on different ones? And she was kind of doing. Oh yeah, I'm not wearing this in the episode, and they had like different variations from some of the other comic runs or other iterations of the Supergirl outfit. So I think it'd be funny if Kate somehow, because she's got resources, she's got money, her family's got money. What if she goes and like had it made? Yeah, just had it made, and it's like in the background, or like he tries it on, and he's like, yeah, no. But mentioning that, Vanja mentioned the fact that one of the things that we all kind of really want to see is them all suited up. You know, Hawkeye fully suited up with all of his gear. I think that's going to happen. Yeah, in this next episode. Oh, the next episode? I think it would be possible in the next episode. Okay. But I like this Boogietron. I think it's potentially could happen. But I do hope that it won't end sadly. I want Clint just to finally have a little bit of like happiness in his life and just be with the family and not think about losing his best friend or having to fix all this and that with the Ronin Suit mess, having the tracksuit mafia after you. But also, like, Marvel, they like to break your heart a little bit at the end of the show, and it does make sense for them to find a way for Kate to take over the mantle. So Boogietron, you might be on the right track, my friend. We will see as the rest of the episodes unveil more. Is there any other comments you want to call out? There's a couple in there. There's a lot of people that are talking about Val making an appearance, and that makes sense. That either at the end she will be recruiting someone from the group. Val would recruit Echo. Building her own that team. Would be really, really smart. She's got John Walker. She's got Yelena. Who else does she have right now? She's collecting like Pokemon. I choose you. Who else did she recruit? I was pretty sure. Right?
that there was one more first person. We know Elena, I can't say Yelena. We know John Walker.
That's it, really.
And
we haven't seen
adding
her in
Echo
any
would
other...
make a very good addition, because right now she's adding either flawed heroes or villains that we really, really liked.
Yeah. Hey, Late to the Party is here.
Late to the party!
Who says technically they're all suited up on the background image of Disney Plus's episode selection screen for Hawkeye. Accurate.
So we know they're going to get all suited up sooner or later.
Accurate.
But I would love to see them. There's like kind of like that Rambo moment where they're all arrows.
On a montage, just a suit up montage.
Yeah.
Or like Sailor Moon transformation.
and doing the spin.
Oh man.
Doesn't she do that? Doesn't she do like that? Yeah, that's what it is.
In the name of the moon.
So, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff to look forward to in this next episode of Hawkeye. And the fact that we are now that they've kind of got the exposition out of the way, now that they've definitely hit the ground running with the tires screeching and the arrows flying. And
so many arrows.
I cannot wait just to see more arrow shooting. That one moment when Hawkeye finally got his bow and arrow back, and he shoots that one tracksuit mafia guy's hand, and you're like, ah! And you actually see a little bit of a like blood splat on there, and I'm like, oh, okay, Disney Plus.
Yeah, it was way more like graphic than I expected. Especially him coming out of the ball pit and like stabs into the feet with the arrows. I was like, oh my gosh, that's awful. And I remember it because he shot backwards, like being Hawkeye, and that's how cool you are. You don't even need to look at your target when you shoot, and he just knew that the hand would be there, so he's just like. And I remember I cheered in the reaction because he hit his target. Not that I doubt it, but he hit his target, and then I was mortified because where the target was hit and the man's hand was literally pinned to the pillar. Like, to get that out, you have to break the arrow and slide your hand. I can't. Oh my God. Why did I do that to myself? I just put the image in my head.
You worked it through at your own peril, hun.
I was like, well, here's how I can problem solve and get you off the wall so you can go to the hospital. First, you chop off the rest of the arrow, and then you slide your hand off the arrow. Make it hurt a little bit more before you go and get that stitched up.
Oh, and I Love Entertainment brought up a good point, too. Sooner or later, we've got to see the LARPers come back.
Grills gotta come back.
They made a big deal about all of those LARPers, and they gave a lot of those actors some big scenes and dialogue. So I'm assuming that they're going to be used again, either in the finale or, and they're also, they said, oh yeah, a lot of people here are police officers and firefighters. So it would make sense that police officers and firefighters during a superhero event come in handy a lot. Especially if they're on your side, kind of a thing. So I think they're really going to come in and help.
Oops.
But
Blade says, was the blood splatter in the garage scene the first MCU blood splatter moment we got? Garage scene.
Oh.
Jog my memory.
Well, okay, no, where you got the because it was kind of a garage that they were in.
Oh, in this show?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any other
like
moments.
Actual because we saw blood with Armand, but it was like after the fact. It wasn't in the act. So I think this might be the first in this show. But I think the bloodiest blood splatter moment in MCU TV shows was John Walker with the shield like this.
Oh yeah, and you got a lot of blood splatter in the Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Here, Rurutu and Debbie are talking a little bit in the chat. Jennifer's not a character who fits the Thunderbolts. Oh, the Thunderbolts. That's right. Echo is more likely the choice. That's it. I kind of we have so many things that are like being introduced left and right. I kind of back of my mind forgot about the Thunderbolts.
And sooner or later they're going to rear their heads.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I'm excited to see this. I mean, the fact that now I've said this hundreds and hundreds of times, nothing's off the table. Anything that has ever appeared ever in a Marvel comic book, be prepared for it to show up somewhere. They're going to use it because they're kind of now like, hey, you know what? Nothing's off the table. After that, we gave a raccoon a machine gun. nothing is off the table here at Marvel Productions.
Oh
so
my
I am
gosh.
just excited to see them, how they're starting to weave this universe, how they're starting to use every last tool at their exposure, from big budget motion pictures to Disney Plus, from big name characters to characters you're like, wait, I've never even heard of this character before, kind of a thing. Who?
Star-Lord, man.
Who? So, and
Sharon
then
Carter.
then to take it and be like, all right, now let's take What If and go blah, 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 and just mix it up however we want.
Well, you guys, that's it for this live stream. Thank you so much for joining us for a very fun, spoiler-filled discussion on episode 3 of Hawkeye, named or titled Echo. So we will be back next Wait, hold on. Before I promise anything, I always have to check the schedule because it's the holidays.
Oh, and
so
things get a little
weird.
crazy. I think next Saturday 11th.
Yeah, I think we're oh, you have this.
Oh, I don't have anything there. Okay. On my calendar at least, but we will see about that later.
If we don't do a Saturday live stream on the 11th, then we'll just move our spoiler talk up to the 8th, which is the Wednesday. But we'll see. We'll keep you guys informed. All right, guys, we got to get out of here. We got to take Navi on her little doggy walk. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you, everybody who supported via Super Chats. We will see you very, very soon. Bye, everyone. This is always the awkward part where I don't have...
You're like, it's somewhere here. Where are the buttons?
Press all the buttons. Bye, guys.